guys, so it's me, Kiani. Today's video, I'm bringing you this look. It's one of my newest party girl looks. I actually created this look several times this past weekend on a lot of our visitors in for the CIAA tournament, and I had rave reviews. I actually wore this look myself, and it was very, very interesting how it really allowed people to gravitate toward my eyes, and they really wanted to see exactly what was going on. So I promised a lot of the girls that I was going to create this video, so here it is. To create this look, I actually pulled one of my oldie but goodie palettes. I pulled my Naked by Urban Decay and used a lot of the fleshier tones here. Pay very, very close attention to product placement. This video is specifically for you girls that love that eye work. I actually have a very, very close zoomed in lens, so hopefully you can definitely see the product placement. And then the glitter. I actually went back to my store and picked up my Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art in the shade Cobalt Crystal, and the other shade I actually used on the lower lash line is the Fuchsia Flash. I paired these two together, although this line does have about 8, I believe, different colors, so you guys can mix and match colors as much as you like. For those of you that have had issues using glitter in the past, this combination is absolutely amazing. It's already self-adhesive. I actually do use a fine tip brush to actually detail out the glitter. But there again, for those of you that are not interested in the glitter trend, you can actually polish the look off with a black gel liner or any other gel liner to finish the look. And yeah, you would actually just have a very, very pretty smoky eye. But you know how your girl does. Without further ado, let's move on to this party girl look. So let's begin. I've already zoomed my camera all the way in so you guys can actually get a very detailed look of the application. I'm going to move into my shade called Toasted. This is using my Naked 1 palette. I'm going to use the brush that Urban Decay provides in their palettes. Using the wider end and just kind of push that Toasted all the way from the inner V all the way into the lid. Do not put it on the exterior part of the V, because you want to save that for your darker shade. Next, I'm actually going to move into my shade called Sand. I'm just going to flip that brush right over, and I'm going to lay sand right on the inner waterline, right over top of Toasted. Next, I'm actually going to move into the shade called Dark Horse, using the tip of that same brush, and I'm going to push that eyeshadow in. Just push it to the inner V, sweep it up. Get your blush and just brush and kind of flick it out just to kind of remove any lines of demarcation. Now that you've done that, flip your brush over, move into the shade called Gunmetal, and I'm going to sweep that right underneath lower lash line. And I am actually going to move right into the shade called Creep using that exact same brush, and I'm going to go back on the top and start re-emphasizing where I applied that Dark Horse and push that right in. Now at this point, I want to grab me a fluffy brush. I'm just going to use one of my Sonia Kashuk fluffy brushes, and I'm going to move into a shade called Buck. And I'm going to overlay it with Naked, so I'm going to flip between Buck and Naked, and I'm just going to blend out into my transition and blend out those two darker colors. Blend that out. Now I want to move into that shade called Gunmetal. Re-emphasize that lower lash line, and I'm going to start pushing that in as well on the outer V, just pushing it right over top of the other colors. What happens with you applying colors previous to the exterior V, it allows you really to apply more pigment and get a softer blend. Go right back over top of it again with that Naked and Buck and blend out. You see, this eye has a little bit more intensity, correct? You want to make sure both eyes look exactly right. So you're going to keep applying until you get it that way. I'm going to move back into that shade called Creep, and I'm going to really, really accent my crease right now. Just pushing that back and forth, and I'm going to just kind of flip that up as well. Okay? You're going to kind of create an upper smoke. And blend out as necessary. I'm going to pop a little bit of this Virgin right underneath my brow, just to accent that just a little bit. Bring that out, bring it in. And I want to pop a little bit of that virgin right here just to make that inner V just kind of dance just a little bit. And go into that creep and overlay that just over top of that gunmetal, just to intensify that just a little bit. Now, put your palette down. It's time to play with some gel liner. I'm going to use my WetNWild little black dress, and we're going to grab me just an angled brush. And we're going to do, let's say, a wing. Create us a wing. I am actually going to apply this brown in the waterline. Put it in and stroke back and forth. Can you see how intense that is? And then you want to kind of complete your lower lash line. Bringing it out and just smudging it out just a little bit over top of your shadows. What you're doing at this point is creating a nice parameter for your glitter to stick. You flick out on the edge just to kind of create a little bit of a wing on the lower. You see that? And you see that this one is very, very intense, but once you put the glitter underneath here, it makes this not as stark. Okay? Now for the dreaded upper. Don't worry about it. The glitter is going to cover if you create any mistakes. So I'm going to pull me a little mirror right here a little bit closer. And just start playing connect the dots a little bit with my gel liner. Make sure you push that gel all the way down to the lashes and into your lashes a little bit to make sure there is no trace of that toasted right around the eye. The trick to create your upper flick or wing, I'm going to grab my angle brush and set it right on my exterior lash line and just kind of allow that brush to pull up. So what you've done is kind of created a V. Can you see that? It did skip a little bit. Don't worry about it. The glitter's going to cover that. And just come back in and connect your line. Can you see that? Let's move into the glitter. I've actually chosen my Revlon Photo Ready Art Eye Cobalt Crystal. This is the shade I'm going to use on the upper. The shade I want to use on the lower lash line is going to be the Fuchsia Flash. So I'm actually going to start with the lower lash line first because I actually did my lower lash line first with the gel. I've actually packed my brush and I'm going to go in and apply this on the lower lash line. Can you see that? I've applied my first coat very, very generously. I'm going to allow it to dry some and come back in. And just follow the trace of your gel liner. Here we have that. Now I'm going to grab a little bit more of the blue and just go right underneath the pink underneath or the fuchsia and just kind of even out any skips. See what's going on? So you have a little bit more interesting flare of color from the bottom pink, and then by putting the black underneath, what you've done is actually balanced out the pink. Okay, at this point I'm actually going to apply some adhesive to my eyelashes, apply mascara, and then I'm going to apply the lashes. Now to finalize the look. If you have any fallout, make sure that you grab your foundation or your concealer and actually pop that right along the lower part of the eyelid just to tighten that up. Make sure the contour is nice and tight, and as you flatten that foundation out, make sure that you go back and reset it. I'm going to use a little bit of my Ben Nye powder here and just kind of gradually pop that right along where I would just re-emphasize that concealer. If necessary, also grab you a little bit of your blush. That will actually make sure there's no lines of demarcation. I'm gonna grab a little bit of my NYX blush here on one of my Sigma brushes and just kind of sweep that along the side of the face just to make sure, again, that circumference there is nice and fleshy. Go directly into my highlight color. I'm going to just pop that right along the exterior part of my cheek, the highest part of that bone, just to really throw some light into that cheekbone. And I had a nice swab of my Jordana Matte Bare lipstick. I'm just going to polish that off with a little bit of my Estee Lauder gloss. And the shade that I'm using is Extravagant Pink. And there you have the finalized look. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to follow me on Instagram at love_Kiani. You'll see who I'm applying these tips and techniques to. If you have not subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button so you can receive emails from me, Makeup by Kiani, when those videos are released. If you have already subscribed, big hugs and kisses. I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys in the near future. That's all we have for now, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, hugs and kisses. Bye.